The following video has been approved by the Jetty marketing team. The video has been rated Jetty. The following video may not be suitable for all viewers. Good morning and g'day, mate. Welcome back to Dyson Sphere with me, Jetty. Now, today's episode is obviously a continuation of the other day's episode 2 days ago, whenever it was, where we took our planet that was Tasmanios number 5, which has been renamed to Go Big or Go Home, because Playthough was not actually making a recommendation for a name for the planet, but the comment they made worked perfectly, so we've decided to rename this planet to Go Big or Go Home. Anyway, today's episode, we need to continue building. Our plan was, and still is, to make one full tier 3 belt of small carrier rockets, because we have one hell of a Dyson Sphere to build, and we've already made a few sails, as you can tell from our Star Killer, which, by the way, even for as many cannons that are firing currently, the whole middle of the planet's not firing, because I disabled the middle of the planet, mainly because we have 600,000 sails in orbit, and we're only absorbing 24,000 sails per second, so I don't need the extra cannons firing. In fact, I can probably turn off more cannons. Anyway, today's episode, we have a couple of plans, couple of things that we need to do. Let me just bring it up on the screen. If we click that one. Okay, so today's plan is me to turn everything back on, because this may be the 5th re-recording of this episode due to many phone calls and other things that have happened in the last 2 hours. Okay, alright, so our plan is we're going to make 30 carrier rockets per second, and these are all the requirements we need, minus a few things that I've turned off intentionally because they're coming from a different planet, but these are all the things we need to make. And most of these have been built. In fact, we already spent ages setting up magnetic coils into gears, into electric motors, into electromagnetic turbines, into magnetic rings. We spent a whole episode doing just that production line, which, as you can see, is like, 1,000 assembly machines roughly. Took a little while. We, last episode, spent a little while making Deuterium fuel rods. Actually overbuilt that by a substantial amount, but that's fine. It never hurts to overbuild things, unless you run out of space for the planet, on the planet. So it means I can also turn that one off. We need to leave it on for just a second, but it's technically off. The other thing that we did just last episode was we made microcrystalline components, plus we made circuit boards, plus we made processors, so we can turn that production line off. We already have a whole planet dedicated to making sails. Zoom out. It is Come Sail Away With Me. Come Sail Away With Me is making, I want to say 18 belts worth. I want to say 18 belts worth of solar sails. It might be 9 belts worth. I'm going to have to go check. We may need to up production, but we should be covered for solar sails. So that just leaves 240 more chemical plants to make graphene. We need 400 to make titanium glass, 320 to make casimir crystals, 960 to make plane filters, 240 to make quantum chips, 720 to make frame material, 320 to make the Dyson Sphere components, and finally 120 to make small carrier rockets. Just. That's all that's left. So, what I still need to do, and what I still want to do on this planet, is the very first thing I want to do is I want to do the frame material. Main reason is we've made 24 belts worth of carbon nanotubes on this planet. Yes, 24 belts worth. So I definitely want to make sure I make the frame materials on this planet, because it's much easier to take 24 belts and convert them down to 6 belts than it is to ship the 24 belts to another planet. On top of that, the other one I really want to make is I want to make the graphene, because that is going to have, so we're going to need 8 belts worth of graphene, as we can see, for every every 2 graphene we get, we get 1 hydrogen, which means if I'm going to have 8 belts worth of graphene, I'm going to have 4 belts worth of hydrogen. The 4 belts worth of hydrogen I want to really turn into deuterium. And as you can see, I need 20 belts worth of deuterium, which means hydrogen. Are you going to tell me? No. Not easily. If I have 20 belts worth of hydrogen, I need 40 belts worth... Oh, no. 20 belts of deuterium. I need 40 belts worth of hydrogen. Now, we are going to ship in a lot of the deuterium from gas giants. We did go and do a little bit of an explore last episode and get a whole bunch of gas giants set up for deuterium. But probably not enough, and no matter what, I have to get rid of this hydrogen. So the plan is also, this episode, to build, well, that says 600 for 20 belts worth. If I go to that tab, it's 2 belts into 1 belt, and we're going to have 4 belts worth. 4 belts? 4 belts. 4 belts. We're going to have 4 belts worth. So I need to make 60 particle colliders to remove 4 belts worth of hydrogen to give us 2 belts worth of deuterium, and then probably have some excess production just to supplement what's coming from the gas giants. So we want to make this production 720 assemblers. We want to make this production 240 chemical plants, and I want to make this production at least that, which is 60 particle colliders. So that's the plan. Now let's split these down into some simpler numbers just to make our life a little bit easier. That is for 6 belts worth. If I just want 1 belt's worth, so 30 items per second, we're going to run into our very first problem. Our very first problem is I need 1 belt, 2 belt, plus 4 belt. That's 6 belts, plus 1 belt out. That's 7 belts. So I need to work out some way to do frame materials using no more than 6 belts to make frame materials. And on top of that, it needs to be 120 assemblers long to get 1 belt out. So that's our first project. Our second project is then Graphene, which should be way easier if I can type in the right numbers. Can I get 30, please? Which is 1 belt of fire ice in, 1 belt of graphene out, half a belt of hydrogen. It means I can put 2 builds beside one another, share the belt of hydrogen, and we should be good to go. So, you know, I should be able to have 60 chemical plants on 1 belt of hydrogen for the output, which then we could move across to these guys. All right, so that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. Again, this episode is going to be a lot of us building together, and then me going in and working out how these builds are going to be placed on the planet and building them out totally by myself, because trying to get like 720 assemblers popped down takes a minute. Takes just a minute or two. So we're going to start with some temporary production, being one of these right here. We want a assembly machine. At the same time, you might notice the awesome frame rate is not improving. It's not actually my GPU, it turns out, even though I think Task Manager and CPU-Z say the CPU's at like 50% utilization. Oh, I've got another research done. It's my CPU is absolutely maxed out, like absolutely maxed out. There is no spare room for nothing. Okay, hang on. Let's. Okay. On top of that, I also have a self-imposed rule that means out of each one of these things, I only want to bring 4 belts of material out. Okay. No more, because if I have more, there's a chance that the ships won't keep up. So what I want to do is we're going to go carbon nanotubes. Because I think this build is going to be very unique. Set you to carbon nanotubes and set you to carbon nanotubes. Yeah, I know. I removed the middle one. Okay, move. Give me one of them. Basically what I want. I have no idea if they're all inputs. I have to rebuild them, but yeah. Okay, so we want an input, an input, an input. I need 4 belts of carbon nanotubes. Okay. And the build has to be 120 assemblers long. So I think think. Occasionally I do think. Just shush. And you need to be that recipe. And I need to get titanium alloy and high purity silicon that's also going to spread across 120 assemblers. But I think what I'm going to be doing is... high purity silicon, titanium, and then the input. So I think what I'm going to be doing... okay, hang on. I need to revise my rules. Okay, or re-explain them a little bit better. I have a limit of 3 belts out of a single tower. If it's an international delivery, you know, like an interstellar delivery, if it's coming from the same planet, rules don't apply. Because the little drones, even though they move only 100 material rather than 1,000, the fact that I can have 50 at this end going and getting, and 50 at the other end pushing into here, they have a much, much higher throughput. So, in saying that, if I put you roughly lined up, I don't know, that looks about good. And we take silicon out of there, and then titanium alloy, which I do not think I actually have enough of. And actually willing about I don't have enough silicon either, but we can go turn on more smelters. So I'm thinking if I go input, output, input, out. Okay, so that gives me for this tower. Let's just start with this tower. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. Four belts, maximum output, okay? For this tower, because it's a local tower getting local deliveries, it's got 6 outputs, that's perfectly fine. It should be happy. But these guys have only got 3 belts worth of input, whereas, remember before, we just hover over it, we need 4 belts worth of input total. Which means, I think what I'm going to do, because the build has to be 120 long, so it means after 30 of these machines have run, they're going to have used up a belt's worth of carbon nanotubes. Now, I could, after 30 machines, cut that belt and, you know, slide that in there and run that another 30 machines and then bring this one in, and after 30 machines, cut the next belt in. That's a perfectly reasonable assumption and something that I should definitely be doing. I'm not doing it, 1, because of the crappy frame rate I'm having, 2, because if I just have them picking up from all 3 belts, then they should self-balance, and by the time we get to the end of 3 belts long, there should be nothing left. But it means what I think I'm going to do, this is where the genius or the insanity comes in, is at this end, I'm going to set you for number 4, and I'm going to have a belt like that, which we're going to set number 4 to be carbon nanotubes, and I'm just going to feed the last 30 assemblers on 1 belt. So we'll have 3 belts come along the first 90 assemblers, and then 1 belt for the last 30 assemblers. Because I just can't get 4 belts down here. Not unless I wanted to go over these things, which would be a giant pain in my ass. Or if I wanted to, like, route them over these belts. Again, giant pain in my ass. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. If I had more frame rate, maybe. But like I said, I'm maxing out my CPU. So this is going to be basically the build. It also means that I should be able to drag that along. And even though these other sorters can't go down, it means I just have to place the first one and then press the Alt button and drag along and drag until it says up to 119 and then click the button, and 119 plus the original one should give me 120. Done, dusted, nice and simple. Okay, so first production done. Woo! Next. Alright. Next is going to be fire ice, which again should, if I had chemical plants on me, where are my chemical plants? should be, we'll call you the hydrogen return line. You have one material out, one material in. So it should be, and this is something I've learned definitely in this playthrough, do not waste a single port on the robot core if you don't have to. There. Okay, I want fire ice, I want graphene, I want hydrogen, and then you can be fire ice, which would be work so much better if I actually set the recipe. Nope. X, that button, go away. Oh, yeah. Yeah, watch the lag. Okay, let's try that again. I want fire ice out. Graphene back in. Then I want a chem plant. Then I want a shared hydrogen belt back in. Then I want graphene in. And then fire ice back out. Can I have the individual one, not the whole area of effect one? Okay. So this should be, helps if you set the recipes. They work 1,000 times better if you actually set the recipes. Copy, paste. Can I get a power pole just here somewhere so things don't flash at me? Thank you. These guys are going to actually power up with a power pole between chem plants, which makes my life so much easier. Alright, so you're going to be a hydrogen out. You're going to be a hydrogen out. You're going to be a input of fire ice and output of graphene. You're going to be a input of fire ice, output of graphene. And then basically I just need to copy this. So you're an output of fire ice. Come on. And then you're an input of graphene, which is going to have to wrap around there. Nope, it's that machine. We just plop that there. And then your input belt of hydrogen. And then you're a... One, two, three. You, sir, are the graphene return. And then from the back of the machine, we shall get fire ice. I just ran out of belt. No, it's that assembler I want to copy. What? What? Really? I'm off by a tile. There. Multibildbeta. Alright. Copy that. Paste that. There. Okay. That's the plan. And this one has to be 30 long, which we're just gonna rough out real quick because I don't have the belt on me. And I don't really want to wait for the bots to place that much belt. But, 29 in a row. Yeah, that's only going to take up a quarter of the planet. This one's 120 assemblers. I think that's going to take up half a planet. And I'm going to need That did 2 belts worth. I need 6 belts, so that's going to take... Okay, that's going to take... Hang on, let's just double check the maths. Because I feel like... Okay, so I need 3 of these builds for the frame materials. And then I need... How many belts of... 8 belts worth. And this did 2. So then I need 4 builds of this. Okay. And then once all the hydrogen gets here, we can then ship that onto particle container thingamajiggy bobs, which I don't have any of. Particle container, please. Particle collider, rather. 100 requests. 125 are on their way, but that should be even more simple. No, I want a tower, please. That should be... no, I have no belt. It should be 2 belts of hydrogen. 2 belts of hydrogen out into the rear of a particle collider, and then output onto a single belt of deuterium, and then just repeat that twice. Because that'll give me 4 belts of hydrogen out, which is how much we have locally, so it'll be with local ships, and then just, yeah, onto 2 belts of deuterium. Anyway, that's the plan. That's the plan. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. I'll get the frame material done, and I'll see you guys after, at least after the frame material. Maybe we'll do the frame and the chem plants for graphene all in one hit. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll see in a bit after I get this done. Okay, so after I don't want to know how long, we now have, well, let's just map view. We now have 3 very long builds, and you might notice, yeah, they all start fairly even at this end, and then they get substantially longer because we moved around and down the equator of the world, which meant that the alignment between buildings changed, and these went from crammed hard up against one another to having a nice gap between them, which means I could have used power poles, but instead they're already set up with substations, so we left it there. Anyway, with that said, next thing I need to do is back to chemical plants, lots and lots of chemical plants, and I need another 240 chemical plants with the chemical plant design, which we were just looking at. So again, see you in a minute. With a quick pop and a flash, and it's done. 244 chemical plants, giving us 8 belts of graphene, with 8 belts of fire ice being consumed, and giving us 4 belts. 4 belts of hydrogen that now we need to deal with. Yeah. So I put 1 build here and 1 build here. I'm sort of wishing this build was maybe squeezed up further that way. And again, because of, you know, moving down the equator of the world and the alignment changes, yeah. 1 build's longer than the other, but they're both exactly 30 long. Yeah, 30 long. 30 long per row. So with that said, the next one is going to be, they should have arrived, I hope, at least. Nope. Request. Yes, particle colliders. Thankfully, I'm finished with chemical plants. We can set you to remote supply, drag that up, although I don't think I'll ever see another chemical plant again. You don't even have warpers. So even if I wanted chemical plants, you wouldn't deliver them. Yeah, we'll just put 50 in there and pretend that fixes our problem. Alright, I need to wait for the particle colliders to show up because we're getting in... Which, it was this one. Because we're getting in 125 of them, I needed 60. So I'm probably going to build double that, 120. And again, I'll see you guys in a sec after they arrive. And yeah, we sort of covered the build. It's going to be... when Icarus stops moving. 2 belts of hydrogen going in one direction, and then a belt of deuterium going the other, and we'll just have each particle collider pull off both belts and output to that one belt. Anyway, I'll show you exactly what the build looks like in like 2 seconds. And this is exactly what the build looks like. Yes, I'm pretty sure the frame rate's getting worse, but it's besides the point. So we have 2 belts of hydrogen coming out into each miniature particle collider, and then 1 belt coming output in the deuterium back in to go back to the same tower. This one has intentionally been set up with short-range drones. Let's just grab some drones from, I don't know, probably the one with the ship leaving. Nope. Nope. Nope, that one. There are no drones. That's why I don't have drones on me. Yes, yes. We're waiting on drones to be built. Okay, so this one is local only. So it doesn't have interstellar ships in it, nor does it require ships to transport it long distance. And this one, on the other hand, is going to have... Oh, yoink. That fixed that problem. No, you will also have local ships. Yes. Okay, so can I have those back for a second? Pop that one up. This is how I did it. I remember now. It's literally 5 seconds ago. Okay, so what I've done is this one has 50 local drones, and they're going to deliver at 10%. So as soon as there's a little bit of need, these drones will launch. Okay, I need to go to this one and set this to 50%, and go to this one and also set this to 50%. So drones move 10 items, 100 items. These guys move 100 items. So because these are set to 10%, as soon as I need 10 and there's 10 available, one of these drones will leave to go get 10. But the drones at this end will only leave if there's 50 available to be moved to hopefully this end. This one over here is set to 100%. So these guys will only leave if there's 100 that they can pick up. The idea being that they should only leave... no, that should be fine. Okay, they should only leave if there's 100 available to be picked up, which means the first one is hopefully full. Hopefully. So with all that done, we should now be able to go back to Deuterium. These guys. Set you for... No. Before I turn everything on, because it's going to maybe kill things a little bit more, I'm going to turn that off and plan some more Dyson Sphere, because we can see we have less solar cells in orbit. Many of them are decayed whilst I've been building. We've also completed more of the Dyson Sphere, but we're not launching rockets and haven't been launching rockets for a while. Not that we've stopped making rockets, we're just not launching rockets because there's nothing for us to launch rockets at. So let me go and build a little bit more of the sphere. I want to finish off layer 2, maybe even finish layer 3 at the same time. We'll just build out the whole lot, and that way we can just set it and forget it. Alright, we have new parts to the sphere added, which means Tyler Lock rockets has started launching. Isn't that brilliant? But still, that is still one of my favorite things. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to... That's still... They all fire out, and then they do a 180-degree turn because they're on a tidally locked planet, and on the dark side of a tidally locked planet. As the second launch. So, I have no idea how many's on the planet. I know we were requesting in about 4,000. So, there should be about 4,000 local stock ready to go. Plus, we're already making back at Australis, our home planet, we're already making rockets there. So, they should be shipped across instantly as well. But as for the Dyson Sphere, I don't know whether you can... Let's turn that off at least, and that off at least. Maybe that helps a little bit. I don't know whether you can really see it. You know what? Whilst the rockets are firing and everything else, just give me a second to just go fill in some sections, so at least then we can absorb some more sails out of the orbit. Then maybe you'll be able to see it. So, I ask you again. Can you see it now? Can you? Hang on. Let's turn off that. Turn off that. See if that makes any difference. Not really. A little bit. Yep. Okay. Can you see it now? Can you? Can you? Can you? Can you? Can you? Can you? Can you see it now? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Either way, I do suggest that if you can read the messaging in the Dyson Sphere, you should definitely click that little red button below. At the same time, I do need to... scroll out. I do need to thank the latest members of the Patreon cluster who have all donated... Oh, no. There we go. Spinnerform. So, Mystic M's, Law, Andrew Reeds, Chris Go, and Glass Eye. And actually, Law requested that his planet be called ++. Yes. They have all gladly donated some of their world resources. Why don't I go out to Mystic M's? Oh, Deuterium. More Deuterium. Yes. So, with that done and that fired up, we... Hang on. Why? We have less sales in on, but many less sales. Okay? They're also, from the looks of that, actually being absorbed at a rate where they're disappearing, which is great. Or they're dying off. I'm not sure which one it is. At the same time, we have a lot of rockets. Like, holy crap, a lot of rockets. Of course, that's the layer 3, which I can't click on. Well, I technically can click on. I've just got to zoom through layer 4 to click on layer 3. It's a little bit awkward. 630 rockets. In saying that, there's 300 on the way. Yeah, that's going to instant build. You see, these are just going to go up and across and down. Can I unselect that, please? Off. Yeah, most of these should just about instant build. Yeah, look at them go. Just because we literally are firing rockets like 400 rockets per minute or whatever it happens to be. It's a ridiculous amount of launches. It's 26.6 rockets per second. Yeah, coming from our tightly locked rocket. Yeah. Providing I actually have the rockets, which I probably don't have long term. But if we leave... No, why? Close that. If we click on that, and click on Dyson Sphere. Yes, I'm consuming 17,000 sales, so at least we have more sales disappearing. And we're doing 5,000 sell points. Oh no, that's sales as well. Okay. We're doing... a 1 minute, please. We're doing 1,200 rockets per minute currently. So yeah, that should complete up a bit more of our sphere. In the meantime, with all that done, I should now be able to turn... So you're going to be local storage. You're going to be remote demand, local demand, and you're going to output these guys. Which I can leave on remote as well. We need to set that all the way down and have them warp out as fast as possible. We can also set this one up to demand, and demand with that. I can set that all the way down. You gotta demand that one and set that to there. Okay, so that's 2. Demand, storage, demand. No. Local, remote. Local demand, remote demand. Change the charge rate all the way up, the warp all the way down. Leave those 2 there, fine. Go to this one and do local demand, remote storage, local storage, remote demand, local demand, remote demand. Actually put that in there again. Set that to the minimum. Okay, they're out and about. Yeah, there's another one right here. Local demand, remote storage, local storage, remote demand, local demand, remote demand. Set the warp range to nothing and pop in those guys, which are going to be both of those. Then go to this one and go demand, storage, storage, demand, demand, demand. That one, 0.5 AU. Okay, so that's that bit done. The spinner form for nanotubes are already set up, as are that one, but I need to change that to that. That should fix that problem. There are definitely some problems I'm going to have to fix. I need to set you to remote demand. You already set. That'll be local supply, local supply. Local supply. Yes. Okay, where's the other? The other one's here. I'm going to set you to local supply, remote demand. Okay, which then brings... Okay, this one's going to be local demand only. You can see how quickly that one's filling up. Local demand only. And then this... Hang on. Oh, there's 3 of them. There's the other one. Local demand only. At this end, we're going to need a... remote demand, they're fine. You're also going to need those. Local demand. Remote demand, local storage. I set that one to local storage, yes. Okay, remote demand, local storage. You're local. You're also going to be that one, local. Local demand, remote storage. Remote demand, local. That one as well. Local demand, remote storage. And then these guys are going to be demand storage. You don't have any shippies. I lost my ships again. Where are we? Nope. 101. Thank you. Go back to this guy. Put all the ships in there. It's going to be very slow to start with, just to get in that very first... that very first... Okay, you're set to 10%. Your charging rate needs to be max. You don't have warpers because you don't have interstellar ships. This one is going to be the one that can go interstellar. So you're going to be that one. 100%. You're going to be that one. You already have warpers. You're going to have that. Yeah, I guess that one's fine as is. Okay. There's ships going everywhere. And the most important question we have is, how's power? 50% satisfaction. Yeah, I thought that might happen. So we're going to have to go visit power, because not even the whole planet is on. Just most of it. Okay. Power. I left the belt here. So we'll just take the belt of suns. To there. Just, you know, spread some more suns around the North Pole. I'll continue that belt to about there for right this second. Okay. Which then means we come to here and we press rotate twice. Nope. 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 Okay. That's where you go then. Sorter. We double up the belt. Yeah. Oh. We're just gonna keep going until everything goes blue. And it says we're A-OK. Unfortunately, these are too far away from their own sorters. So we're actually gonna have to power up the sorters separately. Alright, let's just get this row put in all the way around. I'm hoping this second row is enough. Oh, some of them are getting power. I want there to there. Substations. I'm gonna wish I had more on me. Nope. Nope. That one. You. So I need a substation in here. And one in there. And I know mini suns are quite loud. It's a thing. They definitely want you to be aware that they're running. There. 100% satisfaction. Just. Oh no. Hang on, we've got a couple more over here I can power up as well. A cool 5 gigawatts. You know what's the worst thing? Circuit production is doing nothing. And everything attached to that circuit production is also doing nothing. But we should have... This is going to be the important one. Deuterium fuel rods. Yes, we have some deuterium fuel rods. We're also bringing in deuterium to all of these. Remote demand. That would probably help. And it looks like I am completely out of titanium alloy. So I'm going to have to go find some titanium alloy and turn it on. Why? I'm out of those. We should have had more than enough. Oh, because I've only got 2,000 stacked up. Okay. Okay, whereas I've requested in 60,000. Alright, so this is going to take a little bit of time for it to build and stabilize. But I should have enough production to meet demand. We have... What are you doing? You're doing green motors. Yeah, they're going to get used. We have... Yeah, carbon nanotubes, which will... I don't know, it should, I think, again, we've got 6,000 in stock. There's more in production rate. We've got 6,000 in stock and we're only requesting in 40,000 into towers. Yeah, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. Oh no, so it's going to be 60 and 60 out. Did I miss one? Yeah. You, and you? No, it doesn't seem like I did. No, okay. Hydrogen in, deuterium out. You guys the one doing graphene and hydrogen. Good. Yeah, I can't complain. The base is mostly running. Like, I need to do a second pass on all these builds and make sure I haven't forgotten anything, because that happens from time to time. And then next episode, he says, we have the smallest slice of planet left, so there's maybe room to fit 1 or 2 more things on here. I would really... production chains I'd love to fit on this planet is going to be... I would love to fit on titanium crystals, which is 320 assemblers. Mainly so I can do the Casimir crystals, because the graphene's already here. In saying that, yeah, it uses a lot of hydrogen, like a lot of hydrogen, which normally requires many towers close together to get the throughput of hydrogen you need. So I don't know how that one's going to go. That's now done. That's now done. It is done, isn't it? Yeah, it's done. So that leaves literally the titanium crystals, titanium glass, Casimir crystals, the plane filters, the quantum chips themselves, the Dyson Sphere component, which actually I could also put that on this planet because we have 2 of the resources here, and it's only 320 assemblers, only. Yeah, so there's maybe a few more things I can squeeze in on this planet, but either way, I'm going to leave this episode here. We got a lot done. Like, can I have that back, please? Like, a lot done. I know it might not seem to you, I know it might not seem so to you guys, but I'm actually impressed with the amount that I got done. At least I got done. You guys helped, definitely. You encouraged me every step of the way. There was a lot to do. Yeah, you guys are not running because you're waiting on that one to kick in a gear. Yes. And more importantly, we've started launching new frame material, new rockets, and we can start absorbing yet more cells. But yes, with all that said, I'm definitely going to leave this episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you're enjoying Dyson Sphere. It is slowly coming to a close. I think by the time we get to 30 rockets per second, I think the game or my process is going to die. And unfortunately, processors haven't got that much faster in the last 2 years since I bought this one. So yeah, there's not a lot I can do about it. Apart from hope the devs keep optimizing the game, because they're definitely adding features currently. I expect they'll start optimizing in the not so distant future. Anyway, with all that said, as I said, I'm definitely going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Dyson Sphere. Bye.